Hi, my name is Chad Hendricks. I'm the president of Experience Associates. Thank you for applying to be part of the program and finding out more. I wanted to give you an overview of how the program works so you kind of have an understanding of what's to come. So at this point, Experience Associates is going to assess your eligibility through various phases of the application process. This background checking, your screen checks, it's going to include an intake call with a member of the Experience Associates team. We're going to also request official government documentation that you're going to need, and this is going to be needed for the government requirements later. So once you're confirmed that you're an eligible candidate and the requested documentation has been approved by us, you will be set up for an interview by one of the visa sponsoring companies. After the interview, they will issue a conditional job offer if your interview was successful. And this job offer is dependent on the conditions outlined in their offer, one of which is that you end up getting your full green card and are able to come to the United States. Now, there are really three big steps obtaining the US government approval for your EB-3 visa card. So, step one is you do have to get authorization from the Department of Labor to work in the United States. An approval application for this takes approximately 10 months. This happens after your interview and after we fill out the information for you. Step two is after about that 10 months, you'll go to the USCIS. So this is the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services Department. And they'll classify you as someone who is eligible for an immigrant visa based on employment. So you'll need to complete a medical examination at Momentum Health or some other Experience Associate approved service provider. And we'll provide you with further documentation as well. Please note that the cost of this exam is paid by you directly to the service provider. It does not come to Experience Associates. Step three, provided the USCIS approves the immigration petition, the United States Department of State National Visa Center will issue a notice to EA that it has received that approval. The notice details what information and civil documents, such as like your birth certificates and marriage certificates, are required before a consulate interview can be arranged. Now, some of these certifications we are actually going to be asking you to apply for during the 9089 process. For example, unabridged marriage certificates or birth certificates. Sometimes those can take quite a few months to actually get. So we need those before we fill out the I-140, which is a form for the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services. Now, the information that's required by the NVC for your consulate interview is very detailed. For example, it requires the addresses of all the places that you've lived since the age of 16. Or social media information. So they're doing a background check on you for various security reasons. Now, Experience Associates is responsible for submitting this information, but you, the applicant, are responsible for providing us the information that we need as quickly as possible. And then once the National Visa Center is satisfied that all the required information has been submitted, they will arrange the consulate interview. Now, if you're in South Africa, as of the end of 2023 right now, this could take up to 13 months, and we really have no control over that timeline. And in South Africa, consulate interviews only take place in Johannesburg. So if you reside outside of that area, you will have to travel, and that'll be at your own expense. Upon completion of the consulate interview date, a consulate medical must be done, so no more than 30 days before your interview. So as soon as we know an interview date, you'll have to go get that consulate medical. And it can only take place at approved medical practitioners in either Cape Town or Johannesburg. Now, if you reside outside of those areas, once again, you'll have to travel at your own expense to get those completed as well. We'll provide you with the details if you did not receive them directly from the NVC. Now, oftentimes people are going to be asking about family members. So for certain positions like truck driving, it might be different than other positions. So for example, with truck drivers, we expect that you come to the United States and then your family will follow along after that. They will accompany you. Now, the reason we do that is it's usually the difficult part is figuring out housing and all the situations for your family. So we like to let you get settled, let you start working, let you know the area, figure out the housing, and then bring your family over. So Now, at this time, we don't always handle all that immigration process, but we list them on your visa application. So by listing your family members on your visa application, it makes it easier for them to join you when they do apply. Now, family members, they are your legal spouse and any registered biological or adopted children that are unmarried and under 21. So, and you do have to be registered as the parent on that unabridged birth certificate. Now, whether or not your children are going to be joining you then or at a later stage, we're still going to require their unabridged birth certificates. Now, the experienced associates in the U.S. do not require spouses unabridged birth certificate at this point, but they will need it as soon as she's going to apply. So oftentimes that can take a long time if you don't have it now. So I suggest you get it right away. Children who are married and are 21 and older do not qualify to be added to the visa. So they'll have to be on their own visa application, which is a totally separate process for them. And then after you have settled and your family's ready to immigrate, you can please contact us to help get over. Now, all the costs, additional costs for the family members, that does have to be covered by the candidate as well. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to the team members that were already talking to you through this program.